If you choose to defend yourself against an armed robber, you have to do so not only in the right way, but at the right time. Hi everyone, this is John with today's active self-protection lesson. Today's lesson comes to us from Fresno, California, and it shows an armed robbery where the clerk is finally going to get fed up and defend herself. It's going to teach us some important lessons about the transitional spaces that convenience stores are, about how the counter plays a part in defending yourself against an armed robbery, and that if you have a firearm-wielding opponent, controlling the distance is incredibly important to ending the threat. This armed robbery is going down in Fresno here. You see the guy walk in with a gun, and he's got his face kind of covered, though he's stupid enough to pull that down there. You can see and show the camera what his face looks like. And this one's chopped up a little bit. It's the original that I got. And you see him point the gun here at the clerk, and she's initially going to try to kind of comply a little bit. And you see her kind of wave the gun away a little. And the counter is keeping him at bay here, though he's going to keep it up. And now he's going to try to just pull the register off the counter and take it with him. Unfortunately for him, unfortunately for her, it's connected by, what I would guess would be the computer wires. I don't think that's a security wire or anything like that. Now, he's going to try pretty hard here, and when the drawer comes out and all the money's on the ground, and she uses that opportunity to go after him and try to take his gun away. And you notice they're hand fighting for the gun, and when he gets away, she closes the door and ends the threat, and this one's over. Now, let's go back and learn some lessons from this one. And you see him as he comes in here, and he is kind of hiding the gun. She doesn't know yet that this is an armed robbery. Now she finally knows this is an armed robbery, and I want to talk about the counter. In many armed robberies, distance is a problem. You see her kind of pawing at the gun a little bit, but not effectively resisting it because he's using the counter and he's using his hand. Now you see her there, she goes after it to grab it, but if you're going to choose to grab the gun of an armed robber, you can't paw at it like she does here. You got to go at it with speed and surprise and violence, and that counter can be a real problem because of the distance that it creates, and it doesn't let you close that distance. One thing that you notice here way on the right is that this woman has hit that what looks like the panic alarm to me. She hits the police alarm, but the cops aren't going to get there in time. You are your own first responder. The police are never going to be there in time to save you, and so you've got to act to defend yourself. Now, this guy obviously isn't the sharpest tool in the shed because he's trying to pull this thing out here, and when the money all comes out, now he's got to put his gun down to go get it, and she decides to act. Now, notice how far she starts her attack from. She is a long way away. I'd say a good 8 or 9 feet, but she gets her hands in there and starts practicing the 5 Ds, and what we notice there is the first thing she does is deflect, and we talk about those 5 Ds: deflect, dominate, distract, disarm, disable. She starts with deflect, keeps him from pointing the gun at her, so if it goes off, it doesn't hurt her. Now she's going to start to dominate. She wants to get 2 hands on that gun if she possibly can, and that's exactly what we see her do right here. She now has 2 hands on the gun. You have to, your worst case scenario is to dominate the tool, next the hand with the tool, then the arm with the tool, then the person with the tool would be best. She's trying to do that here, but of course he gets a say in the matter as well, and he's able to back up, which is why we say, you want to start those 5 Ds from as close as you possibly can. He's able to get away. Now, if he wanted her dead right here, he could have shot her dead to rights, but thankfully he was a robber and not a murderer, and then she's going to take the appropriate follow-up action here and close the door on him and escape and just get as much distance as she possibly can. In the end of things, she did the best job she could. She had to protect herself, and she did. She covered her ass.